This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This is your boy Blak Magus, and was watching a stream of one of my favorite streamers. He's a guy, Dr. Lupo. He plays PUBG, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, for those who don't know what PUBG is. But he started as a Destiny streamer, and if you hear me sound like my mouth's full, it's because I'm trying out this Italian ice. I've tried the brand before, Luigi's, but they have a flavor called strawberry that I haven't tried, and it's quite damn good. Well, let me stop eating while I'm doing a commentary, because that's very unprofessional. So, he had an announcement today, and the announcement was interesting. He is a part of an eSports team now. Now, it's not for PUBG, which I kind of was expecting him to say something like that, but it's for Destiny. Destiny 2 in particular. A ESL Sports team known as Rogue is forming a Destiny team, which is interesting because, of course, all of us who play Destiny know that there has never been a competitive league, mainly because Destiny wasn't intended to be competitive at first. But with Destiny 2 coming, and with all the talk, if you've played Destiny and you've been a part of the Destiny community, you know there's been a lot of talk about possibly getting competitive from the community itself. Not from Bungie, but from players who really would like to see a competitive element to the game. Now, Bungie hasn't officially came out and said anything, as far as I know at the time of this recording. But it is quite possible that with this type of announcement, we may be seeing soon creation of more teams and an announcement that there is a real serious competitive league for Destiny, and that Destiny 2 will have the tools to help this become a real big thing, which would please a lot of players. Of course, there may be ways for it to happen anyway, but we don't know because we've only seen a taste of Destiny. The build of the beta that we got was more closer to an alpha than a beta, because remember, they said there were some things in there that had been already removed from the game that they didn't even realize was still in it, because it was the build that they used at their reveal. So, you know, it may be looking like there is going to be a real competitive element to Destiny's PvP, which would be interesting. Now, of course, within the community, there's kind of a division. There's those who are happy for the players who got picked, and others who are the ones shouting for a competitive element, who are looking at this as an opportunity for them to possibly get picked up by these professional teams as well. You have another element of the professional crowd that's jealous, I guess I should say. You know, at least that's my take on it, because they're upset at, you know, this team took some players from other teams, and I guess now they're worried their teams are going to get picked on, and, you know, some kind of seem like, you know, salty that some of these players got picked before them. You know, the typical stuff. You know, at the end of the day, this is a good thing, I think, for those who are competitive. It shows that they're now real financially backed organizations willing to invest in the community's players. I think for those who have teams now who are upset, think about the structure and the organization of your teams. Now, for those who don't know, Destiny has had a community of teams for competitive play. You know, people like I Am, Tier 1, God Squad, stuff like that, but they're not quote-unquote professional teams. These aren't like financially backed organizations that can carry themselves to different events and compete, because they're mainly made up of a group of players who are very, very good, who decided to team up. But as far as financial structure and organization structure, they don't have it on the level of real professional esports teams. So, and it's funny because one of the players, he even tweeted, like, they were asking him, why would you consider breaking up your team to go to one of these other professional teams? And he straight up said, we don't have the financial backing to compete with them. So it would make more sense for us to find an organization to play for rather than sit here and not be able to compete. You know, basically it was his gist. And that's so true, because a lot of these teams, they're just, you know, people within the community who decided to band together and form a squad, but they are not able to, you know, do the things that these real professionally backed teams are able to do, who get sponsorships, who get benefactors who are willing to pay. They can't support giving people a salary like most teams do, because if you read over the last few weeks about how teams are structured now, you know, it's an average of $50,000 a year in salary plus benefits for a lot of these players. You know, it's become a real legitimate profession, and these teams within the Destiny community, they're not built or equipped or financially able to do those things that a team like Rogue or any other esports team is able to do. So it makes much more sense for a lot of these players to leave. And the player who made that comment, Triple Rack, you know, it's very, very important to note that he lost players from his team, to this Rogue team. And like, yet his whole attitude is like, yeah, this is a good step. This means that we're going to start getting real organizations coming to back us and help us create this competitive scene. You know, very mature and realistic response. So it'll be interesting to see how this all breaks out. I have to imagine, for those who think that this is stupid, I can't see that these teams are going to be, organizations are going to be pulling these players without some type of assurance or knowledge that there's actually going to be something legitimate happening with Destiny 2 as far as a competitive scene. They know something that we don't, and that's the thing. A lot of people may be like, this is stupid, we don't even know yet. Perhaps they already know. So we just have to wait and see, because we're not a part of the internal structure of this whole thing. We aren't the ones who, you know, on the inside looking at what's going on. These organizations that are pulling players clearly are, and they must have let the players know, or else these players probably would have been like, well, why would I bother? Because it's not going to happen. So it's probably going to happen, but curious to know what you guys think about a competitive Destiny scene. Do you think it'll work? Do you think it won't? I would like to know what your thoughts are, and also your thoughts on competitive gaming, period, because it's just growing. You're starting to see more games. We just saw PUBG have that tournament at Gamescom. Now we got this news about the Destiny team, which could lead to possibly more announcements like that. What other games might come to the competitive scene? Esports is growing. For all the snickering a lot of us did about esports and all that, it's become huge, bigger than we imagined it ever probably would be. It may not be a quote-unquote real sport, but it's definitely a legitimate profession right now, and something that a lot of people will love to do, I'm sure. But anyway, as always, feel free to hit me up. Let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Blak, Magus, and I'm out, y'all. Deuces.